So like people like they meet you and they're like you're very white, right? And you're like I'm Brazilian. You start speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
So tell me your background. Tell me
Yeah.
where you grew up and just your family and everything.
Yeah. So I was born in São Paulo.
Mm-hmm.
Both my parents are from Brazil. Both born and raised in Brazil. I was supposed to be raised in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of. But just job circumstances for my parents, specifically my dad, right before I was born, kind of changed a lot of that. So my dad was born in Bahia.
Wow. Okay.
And he grew up.
He's Baiano.
He's
huh?
Baiano, yeah. People are very surprised by that.
Yeah.
My dad's from Bahia. A lot of my grandparents, or my grandparents and my older uncles and stuff on my dad's side, they're from, oh man, Ceará, which is even further
north,
more, separated from the rest of Brazil. And then my mom was born in São Paulo, but she was raised ever since she was a teenager in Minas. But she was raised in Uberaba.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit away from
by Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like the next major big city outside of Belo Horizonte
Okay.
is Uberaba, but it's more of like a college town.
Gotcha.
So they were both from Brazil. They met in São Paulo because my dad's dad, my grandpa, he was a big pastor in São Paulo. My mom's family, my grandpa on my mom's side, he was one of like a very well-established farmer.
So your grandfather was a pastor.
Yeah, yeah. My grandfather on my dad's side is a pastor. I think all of my uncles on my dad's side, all pastors.
Wow.
Very religious family growing up. My dad was a pastor. He stopped because it's not an easy life, and he wanted to be able to give us more easier lifestyle, because he was working as a pastor in Brazil and then as a minister. But it's difficult to raise your kids earning more money in Brazil, but when we live up here in the States. So, anyways, my parents, they met because my grandpa...
Going back to that fine balance of struggle and what's good and what's bad for your kids, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what's good and what's bad for which is better, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because like I said, I was supposed to be born in the States, but raised in Brazil, because at the time that I was being born, my dad started doing kind of like televangelism ministry, where he would film televangelism programs in the States and then send them down to Brazil.
Gotcha.
But we were living down there. And then it was like this back and forth every other month. We were in California or Florida, where I grew up, and then São Paulo. And then eventually my mom was like, I'm fed up. Let's just stay in one spot. So we ended up moving to South Florida, and that's where I grew up. Yeah. Me and my two brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then grew up in South Florida ever since I was 5. So I remember still learning English.
Like Miami?
Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, same.
It was like Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale.
Gotcha.
We moved around a lot, either because we had a couple of houses that
You had some family there?
most of my family's still down there, on my dad's side and my mom's side.
In Florida?
In Florida, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I would say like 70% of my family's down in Brazil, and then a good amount, because, Latin families, huge families.
Yeah, yeah.
On my dad's side, there's 11 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
On my mom's side, there's 9. So I got like over 30 cousins.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I've always loved that aspect of big family. And yeah,